This is going to be a short video today, but after playing through the demo for the Alliance Alive this weekend, I had to make a video to tell you guys how excited I am for this game. Big thanks to Heon on Discord for encouraging me to give it a shot. After spending several hours with Tales of Berseria yesterday morning, I was getting this feeling that I was experiencing JRPG burnout. I mean, right now I'm playing through Chrono Cross, Final Fantasy X-2, I just finished a long playthrough and video creation process for Final Fantasy XIII, and also recently spent a fair amount of time with ActRaiser, Tokyo Xanadu, and now Tales of Berseria. In any case, while I think Berseria does a lot of things right with its storytelling, the combat just really isn't grabbing me. I guess with every other game I've mentioned, perhaps aside from ActRaiser, which is just good old school fun, I haven't played a JRPG recently that just completely engaged me right from the beginning and left me feeling like I was dying for more. This isn't a criticism of Chrono Cross, by the way. I think that game is good. It just doesn't leave me begging for more when I've put it down. Anyway, after shutting off Tales of Berseria, I decided to download the demo for the Alliance Alive and give it a shot. Guys, this is the JRPG I've been looking for. It's the same feeling I got when I played the Octopath Traveler demo, and I've been saying for a while now that Octopath is my most anticipated game of the year. Well, now this game is right up there alongside it, but the best part is it's coming out tomorrow, so I don't have to wait for it at all. Some important things to know about the Alliance Alive. The director for this game, Masataka Matsuura, after receiving feedback on the studio's last game, The Legend of Legacy, wanted to create a story-driven RPG that harkened back to the Golden Age. For this reason, he decided to bring on Masataka Murayama to write the story. If you don't recognize that name right away, Murayama is the guy who wrote, directed, and produced Suikoden 1, 2, and 3. So yeah, they're definitely taking the story more seriously on this one. Also, the music was composed by Masashi Hamauzu, who was the composer for many of the tracks on Final Fantasy X, and was the sole composer on FF13, World of Final Fantasy, and Legend of Legacy. So, the staff here is solid. They definitely had a great team in place, and it really shows. I won't spoil anything as far as the story goes, but the basic synopsis is that a long time ago, a race of demons descended upon the world and subjugated humanity, blotting out the sun with dark clouds so that generations of humans never saw a clear sky. The player follows a group of heroes who seek to rise up in rebellion and put an end to this rule of the demons. It's pretty simple stuff on the surface, but it's cleverly written, extremely well-paced, and just feels great overall. I was talking a little earlier about feeling some JRPG burnout, and a big part of that, I feel, is that a lot of modern JRPGs are pretty poorly paced, especially in their intro sequences, dragging out the story with 2 to 3 hours of dialogue with no variety or room to let the player explore and, actually play the game. The Alliance Alive understands good pacing in that regard, and I got hooked right away because of it. This is by all accounts a traditional, golden era, 90s philosophy JRPG, and I absolutely adore it. The combat is truly turn-based, with no ATB or anything like that, and the character progression actually feels like an evolved form of what Square was trying to do with Final Fantasy II. Now, before that completely sets you off, understand that this game takes that concept and does it right from what I can see so far. Final Fantasy II failed because the system was so easily exploitable and was just executed in a very sloppy way, but the idea behind it is something I've always thought was very fitting for RPGs. Basically, the more you use a certain skill or weapon, the more proficient you become with that skill or weapon. You don't level up like in most RPGs where stats just increase after you gain a certain amount of experience. I can't overstate how much I like that as a concept, and it really has me excited to jump into the full game. After each battle, you also earn talent points, which you can use to increase a character's weapon skills, ability to regain health, and so on. Going along with this rebellion motif in the story, you can also unite these guild towers that you find throughout the world, which will give you certain bonuses in battles as well. Down the line, I also hear you can use a telegraph system to have them communicate with each other and even level them up. Also, speaking of the world map, it's massive and it's awesome. This is how world maps should be done in JRPGs, period. End of story. There are no random battles, as enemies appear on the screen and can either be engaged or avoided, which is always a huge plus in my book, so exploration isn't constantly interrupted and the player can sort of explore at their own pace. And then we have the music, which is very distinctly Hamauzu if you've heard his other work. His style is all over this soundtrack, but still, there's also something very unique and distinct about this game's music. On our Discord server, I saw a conversation some time ago where some of the users were feeling like epic orchestral work within fantasy RPGs was getting to the point where it was feeling generic or oversaturated, to the point of being distracting for them. If you're the kind of person who feels that way, you might really dig what Hamauzu is doing here, which is so different from what you would expect from a fantasy RPG. There's a lot of wide soundscapes and even some industrial heavy percussion mixed in. It's very intriguing and oddly soothing music that sets a pretty interesting tone. I expect it won't be for everybody, but so far I really dig it. So yeah, I've only had the chance to play through the demo, but I'm in love with what I've seen so far. This game has sort of reawakened my passion for JRPGs after playing a bunch that I wasn't too enthralled about personally, and that's likely because I'm pretty old school myself with my tastes. In any case, this game comes out tomorrow, and I'm definitely going to buy it. If you have a 3DS, I recommend downloading the demo and giving it a try for yourself. It's an excellent demo that gives a really strong sense of what to expect from the full game, and I want to personally shout out to Tokyo RPG Factory and tell them to take notes on this game. The approach here, building around solid gameplay concepts by adding a great writer to pen your story, is exactly what you need to do. Also, make demos like this, not like the one you made for Lost Sphere. To give some final thoughts, interesting world and story, clever writing, great implementation of the art style, solid battle mechanics and level progression system, amazing world map, and good music make for the kind of traditional JRPG I've been jonesing for a long time. I really think a lot of you guys are going to like it too, so give it a try.